So this video, it'll be similar to my explanation for the frost build, and it's gonna be for PvP, primarily arena, solo shuffle, 2s/3s. It works for battleground as well. We'll probably run a pretty similar build. So to compare Unholy to Frost, it's much more sustained damage. You'll have more sustain in terms of healing yourself. Obviously, you have a pet, so there'll be a little bit more pet management. Like ideally, if you really want to get advanced, these abilities won't be automatic. You can use the Gnaw for key stuns, leaps, and being able to attack, choose your attack. And oh yeah, for rune forging, definitely want to go Rune of the Fallen Crusader. It's just a bona fide strongest ability. So, well, what do the talents look like? So here you can kind of choose here. I like to go down a little bit of a tree down here. Cleaving Strike. This 7 additional. That's more for Battleground. It's kind of you're not really gonna be getting full use out of that, but Enfeeble is strong. Being able to reduce enemies' move speed and the damage deal 15% for 6 seconds. That's quite a large amount, 15%. And then you're constantly having a bunch of diseases running up on like everyone, and having that's being able to deal 6% increased damage, getting a chance for that is quite important. And then you get Might of Thessarian. I'm still theory crafting a little bit on if this is worth going over. Taking some other talents, like for example, Gloom Ward, Unholy Bond, those March of Darkness. I like having that extra mobility, especially on my Frost. Unholy, I don't think this talent is quite as important because you will have you have your death coil that is ranged. So like while you're running people down, you can be death coiling them. Your pet's attacking them. So mobility is not quite as important as it is on Frost. You still want to run rest of these talents that are pretty similar. So yeah. Oh, and then Holy Tree. Say like this is probably I'd say this is definitely like pretty much the best setup. Going down here, you'll have you want to get Unholy Blight. This is getting some extra damage going, short cooldown, extra runic power from Festering Wound. This is key right here, even Fever, because you're going to be doing quite a bit of damage for diseases, getting extra 50% damage done, half the duration. That's good stuff. Holy Command, your Dark Transformation is very important. You'll be constantly running that. Your Death Coil is extending it. Unholy Assault is very key in the rotation, so you want to go down here. Death Rot's really key. You'll be doing a lot of Death Coils. Popping Festering Wounds, you're doing that all the time. Being able, Super Strain is really good, getting your Virulent Plague. Also applying Frosty Burn, Blood Plague 8% effectiveness, that's quite strong. Armory of the Damned, getting your Apocalypse cooldown cut in half to 45 seconds, that's really key. Goes right in line with Dark Transformation. Commander of the Dead, I mean, as I said, this is arena focused. You don't have Army of the Dead in arena. Yeah, obviously getting the Gargoyle out, it's good, but it's on 3-minute cooldown. You're not getting it out quite as much. It's still strong. I'd say Commander of the Dead, if for battlegrounds or open world, could consider this, but I'd say these keystones right here, it's very key and important. Here, Plaguebringer. I like to go Plaguebringer, just doing more damage, getting your disease. It's very important. This is a big boost on them. Calling Shadows is interesting if you kind of want to run a more sort of ranged type of combo, almost sort of Warlock-esque. It's interesting. I think this is a possibility of being a legit possibility, especially with the Death Knight's defensive abilities being nerfed. But I'd say for now, definitely go Plaguebringer. Sudden Doom's really good because that combines with this talent where Death Coil consumes Sudden Doom, applies 2 stacks of Death Rot, and there's also another one somewhere here where it pops 2 Festering Wounds as well, which is key. Then you get improved Death Coil, 30% damage, and hits 2 people. That's great. Taking an extra 30% damage over 4 seconds, that's great. Definitely want that. I really like Magus of the Dead. Apocalypse, you'll be popping that like every 45 seconds, so Magus of the Dead, well, that's key. For the rotation, it's definitely more complicated than the Frost rotation. You know, Frost relates Pillar of Frost, you know, your rune weapon, and that's kind of your main rotation. But in Unholy, you have to, you know, you want Outbreak, you want to get your Festering Wounds up. Unholy Assault's really good at that. +4, and then you can Apocalypse right away. Then, you know, get the Festering Wounds up, get your Runic Power Transformation, Death Coil increases the rotation, and then you're going to be balancing your Festering Wounds with your Scourge Strikes, and then you don't want to cap your Runic Powers, so you want to be doing Death Coil. Unholy Blight, you always want that up as well. Obviously, you know, Abomination Limb, that's something you want to be using quite a bit. And your Gargoyle as well. And then, you know, for the opener, I'd say Power Rune Weapon is definitely good for opening. Fortunately, you can't get the double Rune Weapon as Unholy, so it's more just every 2 minutes, you know, you use it. You have the same sort of defensives as Frost, although, you know, I'd say you have a little bit more flexibility because Death Coil isn't quite as important to the damage rotation, you know, definitely still is key. So you have Death Strikes. The good thing about Unholy is, oh yeah, this is a Doom Burst. You want to take this. It makes the Death Coil burst up to 2 Festering Runes and reduces movement speed. Necrotic Wounds is extremely important. This is a pretty strong healing meta, even though they're nerfing some self-healing across the board. But this is very key. Every time you're bursting a Festering Rune, you're always doing that. Turns into Necrotic Wound, absorbs 5% of all healing received, and then you also get to heal yourself, and you can get multiple stacks. This is the most important talent. Spell Warden 2. As I said, if you don't want, I always run Spell Warden, but you know there's other options like Strangulate, like Life and Death, you know those. But I always like to run Spell Warden. You're pretty much always going to be against comps with that have some type of caster, especially if you're running solo shuffle. You know, or yeah, I mean you're gonna run casters. I'll still have to do more theory testing on alternatives if you do happen to be in a match where surprised there's just no real magic damage, but that's such an extremely rare case. I wouldn't worry about it. So Orange overall really strong talent. And anyway, so run the rotation again. You know, Outbreak, Holy Assault, Apocalypse, a Bomb Limb, and then you know like setting the runes up. Obviously, you want Dark Transformation as well. Run Death and Decay on Holy Blight. You know, fixate to stun them here and there. You know, it's definitely far more complex than the Frost rotation. It'll take some getting used to, especially compared to Frost. When I was getting back into it, it was a little bit tough to get used to playing Unholy, but you know, once you get used to it, you'll get used to how this thing works. Where especially Unholy Assault combined with Apocalypse is a super strong combo. If you don't have it up, you know, you want Festering Wounds up pretty consistently. You do that, get Apocalypse up. Always want to make sure there's 4 wounds on them. Dark Transformation is key, and then you have the talent too, where you get these chains that do extra damage. You know, the stun, the Unholy Blight, it's really good. It's kind of the same fundamentals for us, where you know this is a very there's a lot of you're doing a lot of AOE damage. You want to attack someone, grip the other person. You want to be cleaving. For your Unholy Blight, your Death and Decay, a Bomb Limb. I believe Summon Gargoyle is AOE damage as well. It's pretty much the same thing. So that's what I'm going with for the season coming up. In terms of meta, which is stronger, Frost or Unholy? I'd say they're pretty close right now. Unholy seems like it might be a little bit stronger, especially sustained matches, but I'm really not too sure on that. The Frost Burst is quite strong with Pillar of Frost, and then you're getting a cooldown reduction on that. So I'd say it kind of comes down to playstyle. Do you like having a pet, being able to do you have a little bit more ranged ability with Death Coil, and then the Shadow Strike talent, you have more diseases running. There's definitely more of a damage over time / sustained damage type of build, a little more sustain. Frost is more you know, just running in, doing burst. if I were to kind of compare it, for other classes, Unholy's sort of like Unholy's sort of like an Affliction Warlock. Definitely kind of more of that playstyle. Frost is kind of it's like a warrior. Um, you just rush in, you pop your cooldowns, you're doing big burst damage. It's up to you.